A divided Fed meets today, but another rate cut looks likely. Economists expect there will be at least 3 dissenters and as many as 5, which would be the most in decades. But the central bank just needs a simple majority to cut rates. Now, the CME Fed Watch puts the odds of another 1/4 percentage point cut at 88%. So this is very likely, although not certain. Kristin Myers is back with us. She's the ETF editor-in-chief for Asset TV, and she's here with me in studio to talk about what we can expect today. Kristin, always great to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
We have this 1/4% cut expected, but why is the Fed seemingly so divided over this path?
I mean, well, we just heard that report, right? That there is still inflation. A lot of Americans don't feel like prices have come down. And so right now the Fed has essentially one of 2 mandates. They have 2 mandates, right? It's either maximum employment or try to stabilize prices. So take that inflation down. They have to figure out which one of those mandates they actually want to follow. Right now, we still have inflation be a little bit persistent, as we just heard from some of those grocery shoppers. But then we do have unemployment weakening. So they have to decide, do we want to stimulate the economy, which could raise prices, or do we want to make sure that we bring that inflation down?
So cutting rates by a 1/4 percentage point would be a step in which direction? What would that signal to the rest of us?
That would mean they're focusing on unemployment, that they really want to make sure that the U.S. economy continues to grow and expand. So that's why it would be a very small cut, that 25 basis point cut. And the Fed has pretty much said, look, this might be a hawkish cut, meaning they might give you a cut today in December, but come January, come mid-March, come 2026, do not expect us to keep cutting rates in the new year.
And what about the limited data that the Fed can make this decision with? We had the government shutdown, which lasted a number of weeks. The Labor Department will release some key reports next week. But aren't there real challenges with making this decision now?
In a word, yes. I mean, if they don't have the full picture of how the economy is doing, how inflation is doing, how the jobs are doing right now, how unemployment is doing, then it just makes it that much harder to figure out, well, how is the actual U.S. economy faring right now, and where should we decide to put our focus?
Fed Chair Jerome Powell's term as chair, it ends in May.
Yes.
How does that fact shape the decisions that we will see between now and then?
Yeah, you know, you're going to see a lot of headlines that there's going to be a turbulent Fed in 2026, that there's going to be a lot of questions about the Fed's independence, because President Trump can essentially nominate another Fed chair. However, he's only going to have 3 seats, really, that he's been able to nominate. There's going to be 12 voting members, a full 19 in the Fed. So he doesn't have complete control over the Fed. However, again, it does call into question some of the independence, because he's pretty loudly proclaimed that, one, he doesn't like, Fed Chair Powell. He's called him too late Powell. He's called him an idiot. He's called him all sorts of names, and that he really wants them to cut rates, because that stimulates the U.S. economy, and the U.S. economy being stimulated is something good for every single president, Republican or Democrat. They all want cut rates. So that's going to be the main question going forward next year. But again, he doesn't leave until May. We have several rate cut decisions before May even has it.
Exactly. And even. Kristin Myers, great to have you walk us through all of this. Great to see you.
Of course.
Thanks for being here.